Warhammer is for everyone. An absolute false statement. You know what I love? It's when you try to talk with a progressive on Twitter and your point literally flies over their head. Like, you would say, so you don't want people to have ID to vote because an ID costs $20 and there are people who can't afford $20 to get an ID and they're marginalized people. And they go like, yes! And I'm like, okay, but a game which costs a lot of money to play, like you need around $1,000, wouldn't that exclude people? It's like, no, because like playing Warhammer isn't a human right, but getting the idea is. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, look, what I'm asking is if you're saying like an entry level of $20 excludes people, an entry level of 1,000 wouldn't they exclude more? No, because you're an idiot. It's not the same thing. I'm like, fuck me. But yeah, like Warhammer, by the way, isn't for everyone. Poor people not allowed. And by the way, like this is fine. I'm not complaining. Like I do think that it's a business and they have to make money, right? But the reason they released this statement is mostly, as many people suspect, because of Arch Warhammer, which is one of the most influential video. Fuck! Look what I did. I'm not editing that out. Is one of the most influential YouTubers when it comes to the hobby. And they didn't like that, right? Because Arch isn't mentally challenged. He's not mentally deficient. He has other opinions than far leftist issues. So they posted one of the great powers of our hobby is the ability to bring people together in common cause, to build bonds and friendship. We believe in a support community, united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. And by the way, like I really hate this thing, like the idea of mutual values and respect, like My Little Pony friendship is magic bullshit. Like, why does everything has to be with mutual values and respect? Like, if I go and I play Warhammer, right? Like, that's the only thing that I need to have in common. And I join the community, which is a bunch of other people that may not have anything else in common besides the fact that they play Warhammer. Like, I can play with a commie, I can play with a fascist, I can play with a capitalist. I don't care, you know, do they play Warhammer, yes or no? But even when you play with someone, you don't have the same values. Like, some people maybe are in the fandom just so that they can paint the figurines and they really like the lore. Other people might want to win, so they're very competitive. Other people might just play in order to relax, like they're not taking it very seriously. And you don't have to like everyone. I mean, maybe you're playing with someone who's min-maxing and he's like just steamrolling over your army and he's being a dick about it and you're more of a casual person, so you're like, okay, I'm not going to play this guy again. But like, again, like, why are you saying that everyone needs to be like kindness and like, what is this bullshit? Like, leave people the fuck alone. If people want to be kind, let them be kind. If people want to be assholes, let them be assholes. Like, eventually the asshole is going to be segregated by the other people, grassroots, naturally, without anyone having to intervene. Like, if you're an asshole and you're playing tabletop, you know, like, people are going to stop playing with you, and eventually you're going to realize that there's so many people that don't want to play with you that you're going to have to change your attitude. But anyway, right, no, you can't have that. You need fascism. You need top-down corporate decision-making in order to handle the community, which aren't customers anymore. They're like a bunch of slaves under the guideship of Warhammer, you know? It's so fucking weird. Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, but it's not a reflection of who we are and how we feel about the real world should be. I don't fucking care how a corporation feels the real world should be. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you're literally a service, okay? I pay you money, you give me a good... I don't... You're not Moomy, you're not Daddy, you're not my friend. If I'm in financial distress, Warhammer isn't going to give me anything. Fucking hell, like, honestly, the fart sniffing of American corporations astonishes me. We will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice. I don't care what they condone and accept. Like, again, like, who are these people? Who the fuck are these people? I don't even know their names. They don't know who I am either. They don't condone or respect. Are you going for politics? Like, am I going to vote for you in the next elections so I can give a shit about what you condone and respect? It's like... Are you trying to fuck my wife? Did you get the wrong number and you're confusing me with someone else? And you're like trying to fuck that person's wife, so you're like giving your credentials about love and hippie shit? But anyway, right, we will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray. Why haven't you done it up until now, you fucking bigots? And if you feel the same way, wherever and whoever you are, we're glad. And if not, you will not be missed. Honestly, American corporations telling people not to buy their stuff. It's astonishing. What a great business model to have, okay? But, like, what I'm getting from this is that they're very inclusive, right? Like, they're all about kindness, mutual, and respect. And an important note on Russia and Ukraine, we are terribly saddened by the horrific events taking place in Ukraine. Our heartfelt thoughts go into all of those affected by Russia's actions. In light of this, Games Workshop is suspending all sales of Warhammer in Russia. So in other words, we're inclusive, but if you're born on the wrong side of the border, yeah, all 130 million people, you don't get to play with our game anymore. Oh my god, like, that's going to show Putin. Like, how is Putin going to cope now? There's nothing he can do. He's checkmated. He is checkmated. He can't play with his toy soldiers anymore, and he's going to have to stop the conflict, right? You know, I'll tell you what the thing is. That, like, why all these companies are now pulling out of Russia and they're issuing this statement. Is that because they have, like, this change of heart and they genuinely they're a corporation, all right? Like, they need to make money. If you don't understand this, why are you watching my channel? I'm like Games Workshop. But I'm not telling you to live. I'm educating you, right? Listen to me. All companies want to make money. They're not Mummy. They're not Daddy. They do not care, all right? Like, they do not care about social issues. All these companies, 10 years ago, when gay marriage wasn't a thing, none of them supported the LGBT community. Who is messaging me on Discord? They probably felt that I'm talking about something important and wanted to interrupt. But none of these companies cared. Only when it became popular did they care. What the fuck is wrong with people? Stop messaging me. God damn it, I'm in a moment. Excuse that. But, as I was saying. No, seriously, but phone is ringing. Discord is buzzing. What on earth? So, notice how these companies, they still do business with China, despite the scandals with the Uyghurs. They still do business with the Middle East and other countries that have dictatorships. The reason they don't do business with Russia right now is because it's very difficult to do business with Russia due to the sanctions. So it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. And people don't like doing businesses where things are unpredictable. So that is why they're pulling out. Now, it's fine. You know, I don't mind them pulling out. But what I find it hilarious is their social statement. It's like, oh no, we're not pulling out because we want to maximize profits. No, it's because we care. Because this is like really popular with the edgy kids on Twitter who don't buy our stuff anyway. So here's why. And you get companies like this one, which is embarrassing itself. Because on one hand, oh, we're so inclusive. We want everyone to play. And now they're like, okay, 130 million people don't get to play our game. And like people who haven't done anything, by the way. Haven't done anything. It's like, okay, so if you're like a teenager in Russia who likes to play Warhammer, why shouldn't you be? Because like the president decided to, like, it doesn't even make sense. But it is what it is, right? So it's absolutely hilarious. They're being roasted on Twitter because of it. Honestly, like, I understand with other corporations that aren't inclusive and they don't say, it's like, oh yes, we want everyone to come together and blah, blah, blah. Like, absolutely not. You're a greedy company with zero moral values. All you care about is making money, and you're trying to maximize your profits, oftentimes at the cost of your own community. Like, there were such brilliant artists making really good stuff for free, promoting your game, and you went overboard and said, oh no, we're going to ban everyone. And like, this is one of the worst